solve 16 to the power x positive 4 equals to 64 to the power x square. It is an exponential equation. Whenever I'm trying to solve an exponential equation, my first aim is to get the same base on both sides of the equation. Because once I get the same base on both sides of the equation, exponents can be equated and we can solve for x easily. Here, the base on the left side is 16, the base on the right side is 64. We don't have the same base. So our first work is to get the same base. Actually, 16 is a power of 4 and 64 is also a power of 4. So both 16 and 64 can be written as powers of 4. So already we know that 4 square is equal to 16. So instead of 16, we can write 4 square. And the same exponent, x positive 4, can be taken for 4 square. Okay, on the right side, 64 can be written as 4 to the third power. And we can take this exponent x square over here. Okay, here on the left side, the base is 4. We have exponent 2. And for this complete stuff, we have exponent x positive 4. We can use the power of a power rule. We can multiply the two exponents over here. So whenever we have two exponents like this, that is, we have the first exponent 2 for the base 4, and the second exponent we have for this complete stuff. Whenever we have two exponents like this, we can multiply these two exponents using the power of a power rule in exponents. So we write 4. I'm going to multiply the two exponents here, 2 and x positive 4. I'm getting 2 times x positive 4. On the right side, I'm going to do the same thing. We have to use the power of a power rule. So if I use the power of a power rule, and I can multiply these two exponents, so 4 to the power 3 x square. Here I got the same base on the left side and right side. So here these two stuff are equal. Whenever two stuff are equal with the same base, we can equate the exponents. So I'm getting 2 times x positive 4 equals to 3x square. Okay, I can distribute this 2 to x and 4, then it will be 2x positive 8 equals to 3x square. Okay, I subtract 2x and 8 from both sides. So this one will cancel out. I get 0 equals to 3x square, negative 2x, negative 8. Okay, here we have 0 on the left side. On the right side, we have a quadratic expression. So for our convenience, we can write this expression on the left side and 0 on the right side. So I'm getting 3x square, negative 2x, negative 8 equals to 0. Clearly, it's a quadratic equation. I think this quadratic equation can be solved by factoring. So for that, I have to multiply the constant term negative 8 by the coefficient of x square 3. 3 times negative 8 is negative 24. So now I have to get two factors for negative 24 such that the product of the two factors I'm getting over here must be equal to negative 24. When I add these two factors, it must be equal to the middle term negative 2, which is a coefficient of x. So that I have to get two factors for negative 24. I think negative 6 positive 4 will work. When I multiply negative 6 and positive 4, it's negative 24. When I add them, it is equal to negative 2. So what I can do is 3x square. I have to split up the middle term negative 2x into two parts using the factors negative 6 and positive 4. Then I'll be getting negative 6x, positive 4x, negative 8 equals to 0. Okay, here I can factor this expression by grouping. That is, I consider the first two terms as one group, the last two terms as another group. So what can be factored out from the first group? So clearly it's 3x because both 3x square and 6x have the greatest common divisor 3x. So 3x can be factored out. If I factor 3x out, so I'll be getting x negative 2. And from the second group, the greatest common divisor of 4x and 8 is just 4. So we can factor 4 out. Then I'll be getting 4 times x negative 2 equals to 0. Okay, now if I consider these two terms, I can factor x minus 2 out. So because we find x minus 2 in common. So if I factor x minus 2 out, I'm getting 3x left in the first term and positive 4 in the second term. So x negative 2 times x positive 4 equals to 0. So now the product of the two factors x negative 2 and 3x positive 4 is equal to 0. Whenever the product of two values equals to 0, either the first value can be 0 or the second value can be 0 or both of them may be 0. So here x minus 2 may be 0 or 3x positive 4 may be 0. Okay, to solve for x in this equation, I'm going to add 2 to both sides. So negative 2, positive 2 will cancel out. I get x is equal to 2. And to solve for x in this one, first I subtract 4 from both sides. So to isolate x, I'm subtracting 4 from both sides. The positive 4, negative 4 will cancel out. I get 3x is equal to negative 4. Then I divide both sides by 3. So 3 will cancel out. I get x is equal to negative 4 over 3. Okay, I've solved the given exponential equation. I got two values for x. One is x is equal to 2 and the other one is x is equal to negative 4/3.